Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly. This is I Got a New Deck. Welcome. Wow, I got a new deck. How new did you say? Oh, a couple of hours old. I wish I was kidding. I am not. So this is the Myss Archetype Cards Oracle deck. I spent some time shuffling. So the cards are still a little stiff because I have not put my energy completely on. I have cleansed in the ways that I cleanse my decks. Now you could do it with crystals, you could do it with flame, you could do it with incense, smoke, you can do a smudge spray, you can do all of it. Okay. What I like so far. This is the back of the cards that you'll see, okay? Okay. When we turn it over, and I love that this one came up, hedonist. So it labels the archetype, okay? And what I love about this oracle deck, it has light attributes and then it has shadow attributes. So for example, this, and it does have a guidebook. It's tiny-ish because really the cards give a lot of information and you add your intuition to it, but it does give, oh, I love it. Okay, so for example, let me look hedonistic. So she names as well certain things that might be aligned with it. So hedonist, bon vivant, chef, gourmet, gourmand, liberté. Also see mystic, displays an appetite for pleasure in life from good food and wine to sex and sensuality. Nothing wrong with that. Challenges their archetypal fear of being seduced and losing control, parallels the search for spiritual transformation. The shadow hedonistic archetype manifests as pursuing pleasure without regard for other people's own health and well-being. Look for lifelong patterns of pleasurable indulgence, either as an end in itself or as an attempt to reach transcendent states. So each archetype, because there's numerous, I'm not sure how many cards there are here. 74. So there's 74. I think there's 73 actual archetypes, and then there's a blank one that if you wanted to add one. But this is very thorough. Like as I'm looking at even the labels, so we have God, you know. The quality of stock, it's thin. It's thin. I like the rounded corners again. I love the color scheme. The line work to me is kind of Art Deco-y. That's kind of line work and muted colors, matte colors. I know I'll be using this quite a bit. And the thing is, I like that each archetype has light and shadow attributes. Because even what seems like, okay, a fool, that doesn't sound great, right? But the light attributes is you're fearless. You take a chance. You help others laugh at themselves too. Right? A jester. Yeah, like I'm loving this. So some spreads that I would do, six. There's 6 blank archetype cards, which I'm going to have fun because once I look at all of these, I'm going to add my own. Look at this, Exorcist. What is the light attribute of that? Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. And then the shadow aspect is fear facing your own demons. So what I would use this deck for is if I'm doing like a story time and I want further information about the characters in the reading, just to get a further layer. Hello, Sal. I haven't seen you in a while. It's my pigeon friend. He comes and sits and looks at me. Sometimes he brings his friend Frankie or Polly. Hermit. Yeah. Trickster. What's the light for this? Transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Kind of the magician, right? As soon as it comes, it goes. Like Sal the pigeon, he just left. Priest. Here for a good time, not a long time, apparently. You definitely could do person A versus person B energy, and then collective energy. You could do a split the deck freestyle kind of story using these archetypes. I am loving the different archetypes because I was kind of on the fence of getting this deck because I have other archetypal oracle decks. I'm not sure I said that right. You know what I'm thinking about. And so I was like, do I need this deck? Because, you know, I do have those other decks, but I'm so glad because already, like, there's 74. And what I love is there is the light and shadow attribute of every archetype. Now, this one I have to say, this is a little bit of a stretch. Addict, light attribute, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. Okay. But I'm glad it was included. Yeah, like I'm loving it. Other thing you could do, past, present, future for yourself and for another person, what they're going through. Now, how you might want to read this, if they come up, you can use these cards a couple different ways. You could, you know, shuffle, and if they come up reversed, you're going to talk about it as if it's the shadow attribute of that archetype. Or you can simply, if you don't read reversals, you could just include, okay, so one personality trait of person A is this, to give a full, well-rounded. Yes, I'm loving. Like I said, I think this is gonna be a great additive to a tarot reading. If I did like a Celtic Cross tarot reading, or even a love reading, so you could see personality traits of each person and the collective attributes of each. I think that's great. Or even for like a job, career, you know, the vibe and the environment of the people you work with. Or just intuitively read. So, again, I would recommend this deck. I'm going to really do some research and get out some of my favorite tarot spreads or oracle spreads and play around to see how I'm going to use this. As well, I think this would be a great deck for journal prompting. To be like, you know what, Spirit? What archetype do I need to focus on? Well, let's do that. I mean, let's see what comes out. Spirit, what archetype do I need? Okay. So I already got one. Networker. Light attributes enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. And then shadow attributes conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. So for myself, I like to think that I'm more the positive attribute of that, you know, one of my clairs is claireloquence, which is healing through communication. I try to be the most authentic me when I speak, and so that shows different sides of me. There's times where I speak soft and I'm quiet, and I try and stay in receiver feminine energy. And then there's times I talk aggressive, assertive. My tone changes. I'm more bottom line. And there are times where I have to think about the why, the how, to whom the communication is going to be concerned, and align my tone, my verbiage, my intent regarding that. Not completely like, oh, I talk this and this and this to these people and then I'm completely opposite. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, you know, how I communicate a message about love may be different to when I speak to elementary school students, right? I'd be speaking more love about their love for their parents, their grandma, you know, their papa, or their friends at school, versus what I would talk to about communicating about love regarding a teenager, right? We talk more about hormonal feelings, your body changing, communicating about, you know, self and self-love. And then an adult, I would talk more about platonic love, and, you know, a sexual romantic partner type of love. And we talk more about genders and sexuality, sensuality, sacred energy exchange. So that's what I'm saying about changing my tone and verbiage and approach. It isn't that it'd be so way off that you would say, okay, but you just said that. It would just be knowing my audience, extending the level of knowledge and emotion, sensitivity, so that the message that Spirit is trying to channel through me reaches the appropriate audience in the most appropriate way, so the message can be heard from a place of empathy, and I've extended it from a place of empathy and ethics. So I really like that networker came out for me to look at that. And you know what? I am going to be cognizant of the shadow attribute of a networker and watch how, before I speak or what I speak on, why am I doing so? Is the intent positive or is it self-serving? So I recommend this deck if you want something to figure out personality traits regarding energies that pop up in your tarot reading. I would definitely use this as a journal prompt aid. And just like I said, I like doing freestyle split in the middle deck kind of story time with oracles, and I definitely think I can do that with this. So yes, I recommend this Caroline Myss Archetype Cards Oracle deck. If I remember, and I hope I do, I'll put a link in. I purchased it off of Amazon, so if I forget to put the link, check it out on Amazon. The price point was, I believe, around $34. I think, looking at how many cards there are in different archetypes, I feel like it's a fair price point. I feel like, and truly, the guidebook wasn't that necessary. So the fact that she added it to it is value added tool. because they're little blurbs, but they give enough that, you know what, if you're a brand new oracle reader and you got this, having this guidebook would help you gain a little bit of footing regarding archetypes, discussing light and shadow attributes. I would recommend a seasoned oracle reader, if you don't have this in your collection, to get it. I think it would add to your existing readings for sure. My name is Kimberly. This is I Got a New Deck. I hope you enjoyed this review. Check out my other videos, and until we're able to engage again, stay safe, be well, take care of you.